Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be revisiting this sketch, the 228 from Operation Right Home. This is a fun one. I like using it and I love how the finished product is. So when I find a sketch like that, I always tend to want to use it more than once. So I have everything kind of pre-cut. My sketch is up here in the upper right. And I'm going to start by layering and really building the base of it to attach to the card base. So this mat piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I'm going to lay down for my top piece. I'm going to use this light pink. It was a little bit of I guess you would say leftover from a previous sketch. So I just grabbed this, I cut it, I want to say it's a little bit bigger than 1 inch. The bottom piece that I'm going to put on top of it is going to go over it just slightly to create the two sections. So this one is they have it 5 1/2 by 3. And what I did was, because I'm using the mat, I did mine 5 1/4 by 3, because my mat, you remember my mat paper is actually 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I just went 1/8 of an inch smaller, so that way it would overlap a little bit, like I said, over on the pink paper, and yet I would have a nice border around all 4 edges. And then we're gonna continue adding our layers. So on this next one, we're going to have the panel that is on the bottom portion of that brown piece. Oh, that's right. Before I do that, I decided to add some peel-offs. And since I'm doing this separate from the card base, I'm going to just wrap it around. I was going to save that little piece, but at that moment I was over it. So I just put it right underneath of it. And now we're going to continue building up our layers. And I just did that so that way it's nice and secure and we don't have to worry about it peeling off or anything like that. All right. And then we're going to attach this piece down towards the bottom. So that way there's a nice, it looks like about 1/4 of an inch space. Not quarter, 1/2 an inch from the where my brown paper is to the top of this piece that we're putting in. Yeah. And I love this paper. This is still using the Kaisercraft collection called Breathe. If I ever find it again, I'm definitely buying another 6x6 pad because I am in love. This is like right up my alley with the pinks and, like I said, the blues and the blacks. Love, 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 love. Excuse me. All right, we're going to attach that piece now that all of that is together. And then we're going to do our top. And what I decided to do was sort of like the same pattern with the craft color cardstock, then the black mat on top of it, and then my pattern paper on the very top. And you could do a sentiment right on the front, you know, like just a stamped sentiment if you wanted to. For me, sometimes I like to use up, you know, my scraps, or, you know, if I have really pretty paper that I just only have a little bit of, that would go really well, I would put that there. And then you'll see, like, either you can put the sentiment over on the right hand side, kind of where that circle dot is, if you have like a small little sentiment, and or you can do what I'm gonna do, which is put the sentiment really right on top of the image, the focal image, I guess you would say. So here's my plan. I'm taking the back off of the foam tape, and I'm going to lay down this particular this piece first, and then you're going to see I'm going to kind of play with the sentiment, because I was thinking about putting it over to the right hand side, kind of like not in the same spot as the circle in the sketch, but just trying to like figure out how it's going to look. Well, when I put it over there, it seemed like it wasn't flush, you know, like it was still some space. So I was like, well, let me add another piece of foam. Yep. So it's going to fit perfectly. And then I was like, but I kind of like it in the center. And I knew I wanted to do Nuvo drops on the top right hand side. And I was just thinking, is that going to be too close together? So this is what I decided to do. I grabbed a piece of foam. I folded it over to make it doubled. And then you're going to see here, I'm going to take the backing off and just place it down right next to the other piece I had. So that way it's the same height. And then I'm going to put it right in the center. All right. And then I'm going to grab that Nuvo. I'm using the black Nuvo drops. Just putting my pen back into my art glitter glue. So I'm doing my 3 dots, and then I just slam the card once and it flattens perfectly. I got the trick down. I'm telling you guys, if you practice, keep doing it, you'll get like a sort of routine down, and then next thing you know, you're going to have your own little secret method to get those nice looking enamel dots. So here's the first one I did off camera. And I love how these turned out. I'm telling you, this is probably one of my favorite go-to sketches. It's nice. You know what I mean? You can use a lot of different patterns, a lot of different papers. And, you know, like I said, sentiment on top, sentiment off to the side. Either way, whichever one floats your boat. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Down below, I will have links to all of my social media. Ring that bell so that way whenever I upload new content, you'll get alerts to let you know that, you know, I have new videos. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I have a playlist of all of my Friday sketches. If you guys need something to tide you over while you're on lockdown, definitely check that out and watch away. There's like over 100 videos there. So thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great day.